All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Footballer Kayode Olanrewaju files for divorce. You remember the story? You guys remember the story? The guy who is been dragging Pastor Toby, and I think he dragged Daddy Freeze too, right? Yeah. Yep. Hey, Becky. Welcome, Becky. You remember this guy? Footballer Kayode Olanrewaju. You know, also this lady was also on Daddy Freeze some few weeks ago. I don't know. We don't need to go through that, but I guess he finally filed a divorce, and Olanrewaju claimed that Dora diverted significant funds. That was the accusation that he made. He was a Nigerian footballer. When we say footballer, we don't mean American football. We mean soccer. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Let me read this real quick. Olanrewaju claimed that Dora diverted significant funds and rental proceeds from properties he purchased, alleging that he is using them to sustain her extravagant lifestyle and her alleged relationship. Hold on one second. Alleged relationship with Pastor Toby Adegboyega. The footballer further accused Ezine of abusing alcohol and living a life filled with late night parties, which contributed to the deterioration of their marriage. Olanrewaju cross petition also mentioned his earlier allegation that Dora abducted their 3 children and fled from home on 24th of March 2024. So this thing has been going on for a few months. He said the Directorate of SSS, State Security Service, DSS, helped to track her down and was arrested at a hideout in Abuja. I mean, is there any journalist out there that can prove this? Let us know if these are real. He said Dora jumped bail to evade further investigation, and she also attempted to secure new passports for their children to relocate abroad. Jesus. Olanrewaju said he was shocked when he got a credit alert from his father-in-law sometime in May 2024, indicating a refund of the bride price paid during their wedding. Okay, so when he got a credit alert from his father-in-law, so they have returned the bride price. He said Dora Ezine later took to social media to declare herself traditionally free as her bride price was refunded. This was 2 months ago or so. Hit the like button, I beg. Hit the like button. Don't be a coconut head. Thank you. I think there's 7% people choose coconut head. 7% people choose coconut head. Come on, you guys. Hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate all of you now. We're getting there. All right, thank you. We're missing 7 people hitting the like button. Okay. So, bride price was returned. So, Olanrewaju asked the court to dissolve his marriage with Ezine and grant him custody of their children because his estranged wife could not be a good role model for the children of the marriage. Okay, and that's a screenshot of all of this. Now, just about last month or so, I think he was accusing her of having babies with other men, as in like paternity fraud. So which one is which one? Did he change his mind? Because at that time, she came on Daddy Freeze show to say, hey, nobody has done any kind of DNA test. Okay. All right, we're not going to go through another affidavit. I will spare you guys that. It doesn't matter, okay? We're going to just extract the lessons from the reason why it's trendy, which is usually the headlines. It's not about them. We don't know what happened in their life. We're just extracting lessons, okay? Uchman Hay says, I love the figure because Baba go pay just to cover the shame. Let's go back. That's terrible. There's a lawsuit that I forgot to read here. He's filed a lawsuit of 1 billion naira. I think that's about $1 million. Or maybe a little bit less. Some less. Maybe about $1 million, maybe a $750,000 lawsuit against Pastor Toby Adegboyega. Okay. And let's see here. The football star also prayed the court for 1 billion naira damages against controversial UK-based pastor Toby Adegboyega for emotional trauma, financial loss, and loss of goodwill occasioned by his alleged adulterous affair with Ezine. Now, if you're concerned about the person your wife is supposedly, allegedly, or potentially, or just in your delusions, cheating with, if you're obsessed with that person to the point where you're filing a lawsuit against them, that shoots your credibility on the foot, okay? But again, I don't know why anybody would be concerned about who their partner is cheating with. I do know why. Human beings are emotional and oftentimes lack any emotional intelligence, especially when they're in this kind of situation. So that's a man. That's a finished man, and not in a good way. Let's keep going. So I'm going to read some of this comment a little bit just to see what people are saying. So this person says, I love the figure because Baba go pay just to cover the shame. That's not always true. But if there's any kind of iota, any ounce of truth in what he's saying, yes, it's possible. After all, PDD settled, right? Is this a PDD case? I doubt it. This gender, forget about them. My advice to all men, look for someone to make children for you. Then pay her off or you go adopt. A person that talks that way is a lover boy at heart. They are a simp at heart. They're just running their mouth and they'll collect. Even if a baby mother with about 10 children open kwekus for them, they will fall for it. Okay? They just don't have anybody to show them love. That's what we're speaking from. They don't have anybody that they can speak to. They don't have anybody that they can claim this person is heads over heel in love with me. That's why they're talking like that. All right. So yeah, you just pay somebody off like that, just like that. If you easy, run them now. All right. Interesting. All right. So let me see here. Somebody said cheating starts in marriage when a wife starts comparing her husband with other men. That kind woman would definitely cheat when such options of men comes our way. Comparing your husband to another person is a terrible habit. Either you do it directly or indirectly. Yourself, you go collect. It's a terrible behavior. So, and yes, I agree it's a form of cheating. Most people think cheating has to involve sexual encounter with another person or sexual intercourse or just emotional cheating. No, just seeing that the grass is greener on the other side can be interpreted as cheating. Well, even if it's not cheating, you will create what you're looking for. Okay, if you are comparing your spouse to other people, I understand that you have your reasons. You might feel like they should do better, but it's also demonstrating your lack of skills. So if they align with what you're proclaiming, don't be surprised. Somebody said, God bless you, my brother. Fake pastors everywhere. Somebody said, Daddy Freeze, don't they dust ring light? Base pastor Toby allow payroll list. Jesus. Some women respect pastor past God himself. Now wow. Some men respect pastor past God himself. Now what too? Okay, it's just, especially in Nigeria, it's just a thing. Okay, what thing? It's just a thing. You figure it out. I'm glad men are standing up for themselves. This women that always try to use kids both of you gave birth to as a way of punishing the man needs to stop. The story is not aligning. At one point he claimed he claimed paternity fraud. In one shape or the other, is basically just a finished man. And I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean that he's in love. I think he's just a very hurt man. He needs to seek help. It doesn't mean that he has not seen shege with this woman, but he needs to seek help. And I think filing for divorce when you're feeling that way is also okay, especially if it's not working. It's not working. Somebody says she can't be Ezine. What is Ezine? What is that? Igbo women aren't known for this. What do you mean? Human beings cheat, steal, and lie. If it comes down to a matter of survival, human beings will cheat, steal, and lie. Okay? And sometimes, yes, it's a matter of Sometimes it's a matter of morals, yes. But when we're talking about romantic relationship, no, it's just a matter of survival for most people. Survival doesn't mean it's your fault. Sometimes it's just their attachment style. And yes, it can be intersecting with morals, their moral values too. Somebody say no go better for that pastor. Why are you cursing the pastor? That speaks more about you. Another person said, dear young men and women, no matter the negativity you see about marriages on social media, yours will be different and be a positive example. With dedication and commitment from both partners, may we all have the grace to truly invest in our marriage. Amen. I like that. Another person says, that is uku unu, salt waste. LOL. But to God fear any girl, her name is Ezine. Ah ha ha! All the Ezine just collect. Wahala. All right. Eyesight say, MOP, forget the DNA issue. It was a lie. So he never made the claim, right? Okay, good. Pastor of all methods, they are tagging him. Not that I support pastors and their brainwashing, but if not another pastor, Daddy Freeze for don't carry ring light, leave Daddy Freeze alone. Ha! You guys. Anyway, let me come to the chat. Let's talk about the chat real quick before I continue here. So, Pastor Toby is collecting woto again. Hit the like button. Okay. The lesson here is that don't end up in this situation. If you end up in this, they're all better off. Your pastors will be accused of sleeping with you. You will accuse a pastor of sleeping with your wife. Okay. And it won't necessarily mean you're telling the truth. You will feel like you're telling the truth. All right. All right. So let's keep going. Did they confirm the kids went is? Or is that a social media story? I guess it's a social media story. I think that's what Asais is saying. As I said, this life, no balance. You and I will defend the case here. I have LLB in local traditional law. Wait, what did Uncle Ben say? Uncle Ben, did he say anything before that? I think he was just greeting us. He said we must get to the root of this commotion. Are we still talking about the video? No, we'll get to the video in a second. Don't worry. Let's see. Number 1 on the troublemaker list in primary school for sure. You think so? I think Uncle Ben is a gentle guy. I think he's finding himself right now. You want to, how do you say, unleash the troublemaker in himself that he wish he was when he was a child. That's how we do. I thought I was a troublemaker too. I like but still chose coconut head. You like but you still chose coconut head. I knew it. I knew that somebody was catching cruise with that pole. I just knew it. She run the guy's street, go refund. Also, she run the guy's street and then go refund the bride price. You know you can refund by transfer. Here's the thing. They were married for how long, according to her? It was such a long time. They've been together for like 2013, 2014. You people on social media are always trying to say people are pretending and one day they will go and refund bride price at the end of 50 years. I doubt it. I think it's a way for you to avoid the lessons. The lessons are you can be a good person, good guy. You can mean well. But when you don't know what you're doing inside of marriage, you can end up straight in the poto. Why? Because it's easy to blame the other person. Okay? It's just easier, especially if you know that should have been a better person. But I guarantee you there's a blind spot. Okay? But no, I don't think she was running him street. I think it's possible she might have started that way, but I don't think people that run street want to stay with you for 14 years only to finish you off. I think for the most part, when we're talking about marriage, not this particular guys right now, because that's another thing. I don't want to get stuck with just them. Just in general, I think most people go into marriage, they end up in a poto, and then they want to blame anything but self. Self-accountability is a lot more harder than you think. Okay, especially if you were hurt for real. So, you see, he did not say they were not his kids, but the extramarital affairs. Okay, so she had extramarital affairs. So the story that all our kids are from the pastor are fake. Social media is not a news source. I mean, you just have to use discretion when you're looking at social media. But those stories go viral because they hit a nerve. So, all of us, we must stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
They hit a nerve. So that's why you see me, I say allegedly as much as I can. It's all alleged, right? So, but the most viral stories, the most viral stories is because this is the reality of a lot of us, okay? Indirectly or directly. Marriott and I never done the customary law matter. Always High Court, Federal High Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court. My lawyer friends. MOP, I think she took some of his money to the guy. Listen, I think, yes, if you're going to his church, she claimed, that's my friend, she's part of the SPAC Nation. Do you think she probably did some seed faith, seed faith where it's all about entrepreneurship, sowing into the life of young people? Yes, of course. All right. But there's context, okay? He's a pastor. She donated money to church. He found out, I don't have any doubt, that he was digging through the phone or something like that. He found out that you've been wiring money to a pastor. I'm going to sue him for 1 billion naira. Guess what? The lawyer will be like, are you all right?
You doing what?
Are you okay? That was a pastor. So, is there some kind of money that left his pocket that went into Pastor Toby's house? Of course. Especially if that's been proven that that's a pastor. But we're not just going to cap that that's as simple as she was spending money for a boyfriend. No, that story is not that
Stop
simple.
the cap.
Nope. It's your typical stuff. Just like a lot of ex-wives' money has ended up in the pocket of Baba Deboye, and rightfully so. If he's sowing seed into your life in the form of hope, somehow he says something and you feel a sense of hope, and you decide to put your seed faith, be your first seed of the year, you put it in his pocket, he deserves it. It's called faith. Okay? It's called faith. If you don't like it, stop doing it. If you don't like it, vote for laws in place so that they can stop donating money to church. We're not going to make it as simple as, oh, yeah, these pastors are just stealing money from my pocket. That sounds like, oh, Tinubu stole the mandate to me all over again. What? Huh? What do you mean? Yeah, you have to allow him to a certain extent before you can steal the whole thing now. What part did you play as a society, as a person, as an individual, right? Again, self-accountability is the hardest ever. Right? Why? Because you can always see where the other people are wrong. They are oppressors too. They shouldn't take my money. Yes, you're right. I agree. Okay.
You're right.
Mr. EE says, if the couple performed a monogamous marriage, civil and church, besides the traditional marriage, return of the bride price doesn't finalize the marriage. Yeah, that's just the cultural aspect of things. But who knows, He did not question the paternity of the kids. Social media are peddling lies. Okay. MOP, the lady granted an interview with Daddy Freeze. I saw that. But it wasn't much to it because Daddy Freeze was not really... he wasn't really going in like that. He tried to do I'm going in, I need to ask the tough question, all that kind of stuff, but... That interview did not go viral. There's a reason for that. As long as the married under the act, the marriage has to be dissolved in court. Returning bride price does not make her single yet. No, it doesn't. Wala Pro Max raised to power 10. Good evening, beautiful people. Shout out to you, Shade. Good to see you. All right. Yes, it's still Davido's Pastor Toby. Davido comes out as very gullible when it comes to a lot of these things. So Marriott, yes, it was fake because he was already accusing her of having an affair with that. Nigerians are obsessed with DNA test and paternity fraud now. So I believe that it was a fake news. I believe that. This is going to be another messy court case. Now, here's the thing. She did engage the DNA thing, and she came out and speak for the first time after the accusation of the DNA. But I don't think we've seen any video of him making a direct accusation. Okay. But she came out to respond like it wasn't just a rumor. She said, I don't know. That's what she said. So because it becomes a matter of reputation, of course, especially in Nigeria where everybody's obsessed with paternity fraud and thinking DNA test will just resolve everything. Yep. Cheating has no tribe, race, of continent. No, it doesn't. It's just a human behavior. It's one of the bad behaviors that people do when they lack morals and potentially they are using it to survive. Okay. Somebody that has sense finally. He's not a pastor. People just started calling him pastor, just leader of questionable fellowship. I mean, that's arguable, right? If it's a pastor and they're doing worshiping and they're singing praise and worship at the family with an X replacing the A, that's the definition of a church. You don't really need Baba Adeboye to lay hands on you to become a pastor. You can just call yourself a pastor. And you don't need the Pope to lay hands on you either. Okay. Daddy Freeze has just been collecting this week. Really, I haven't really followed him this week, actually. Daddy Freeze is busy rapturing people and saying, "Pop, my money gone." Exactly. Daddy Freeze interviews us. I didn't watch because I found which rubbish. She had a questionable relationship with that dude. I think she was the manager. Let me educate you, guys. She was the manager of this guy in his career, and there were mishandling of money, at least the accusation of it, right? And they moved around different nations, and she's negotiated deals, football deals for this guy. Okay, I think the guy has gotten to a place where he's questioning how she handled money after managing him for a while. She also questioned how other people managed the guy, which is why she took over in the first place. I think it's a momager, wifeager type of thing, right? I think when people don't know what they're doing and they're doing marriage, they're mixing marriage with that kind of thing, I think is a very dangerous thing. Okay? I work with my wife in our coaching business, as you can see, right? But we also have certain boundaries. I don't know if you guys know this. It's good for us. We're romantic lovers, right? So doing business together all the time is, what's the business? Well, eventually the online in-laws will say she was just being greedy, or they will say one side of their brain that works is just being greedy. That's what people do. But the reality is that it doesn't necessarily have to be about greed. It could just be you're mixing two different types of energy together, and they're not supposed to go together. It's like trying to mix water and oil together, right? It's not happening. It's not working. It's chaotic. You have to manage your energy. That's why you see a lot of momager. That means a mom who is a manager, relationship with their own child also doesn't tend to work out. Ask Usher and his mother, right? Ask Mohisha, what's her real name? Brandy, and her mother. We have stories upon stories. Ask, even in recent times, you see the messiness between Britney Spears and their parent. You're supposed to be a parent, but you find yourself and you're mixing money and all that. It doesn't have to be one person's fault or one person is stealing. I guarantee you somebody's going to accuse somebody of stealing. But if you think a little bit deeper, you start to notice that there's a pattern here. Daddy Freeze has set ring light and is having press conference. Wahala. All right. Let's see. I promise, Ice, I'll be coming down. Let's see. Just a matter of time, they slip in the least expected way. Uncle Beno says, if you want to get rich quick living on Nigerian's pocket, just give yourself the title of a pastor. That's it. That's all it takes, brother. All right. And you can give a nameless person that ordained you. That works too. And put a picture of Babalola from 1930 there. It will work. Athletes never learn. Get a non-family member to manage you. Be your agent and account and get a third-party auditor. Lovely. That's why there are auditors, right? You have an auditor also auditing the audit too. Right? So, yeah, that's a good point, Mario. The number one rule is never mix family, money, business together. It's a recipe for disaster. Look at the Kardashian. Or at the minimum, be aware that it's not necessarily that your family or your wife or your husband is trying to steal from you or they're trying to cheat you out of your right. Just be aware that those dynamics will create friction and have measures in place to check for the balances, to do checks and balances rather. Okay. Mario family waiting. Only mothers manage you right in anything. Not necessarily. People's mothers are being accused of stealing. Not necessarily. Yep. Or toxic. I think the situation with Brandy was a situation of, it was toxic. It was too much. If you watch, they had a reality TV show way back and you could see into what was going on. It just becomes a very toxic relationship when your mommy cannot be there to be a mother, especially for young ladies that you already feel like your mom might be playing antagonist or playing competition with you. A lot of daughters feel like their mother plays competition with them. And then in the spirit of trying to protect you, good intentions, they try to manage you. And that emotions keep taking you on. You just can't stand it. Or she says something, you start mixing it up together. Or she said, hey, you're trying to date Kobe Bryant. He's too old for you. Oh, no, it's not that old, but don't mix pleasure. Or you're trying to date Jay-Z, right? Beyonce and the father. The father eventually got fired, right? But they loved each other. They love each other better after separating that relationship. And there are just ways to mitigate that, you know. I think that's what happened with Olanrewaju and Dora. I think it's not a case of somebody cheated somebody. It's been over 10 years marriage with 3 kids. I think it's just, we find it way too easy to just say, hey, this person is a thief. This guy is just sick. It's not necessarily sick. He just doesn't know what he's doing. It shouldn't have been. He should have just, what should he have done? It's a footballer who also didn't go to school properly, according to the wife. He finished high school, just secondary school. And she went to college, right? If you don't know how to read your own papers, your own checks and your contract, that's problematic, right? So it's just about self-awareness and being able to put, just put measures in place, boundaries, understand that there's family and you're mixing money together, Uncle Patrick, welcome, sir. I said DF has a record. Collect Rolex watch from Pastor T. Eat chicken in Osh Poppy house. Wahala. Wahala. Pastor Toby and his jewelry designer. Now, wow. Pastor Toby's, it's a matter of time. That's all I'm going to say about him. It's just a matter of time. That was all I said about Osh Poppy. And I'm not saying he's doing the same thing that Osh Poppy is doing, but it's a matter of time. All right. So tissue in your bag, going for boy Jenny, and there's a lot of wisdom, lack of wisdom, I should say, around the way it moves. We don't know what we don't know, but it's a matter of time. There's going to be more to him as time goes on, But again, if he keeps attracting this kind of mess, it's only a matter of time. So what do you guys think? This particular situation here. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Did you look into her eyes and say, I don't trust this girl. I don't trust him. I bet you look at him and say, this guy is a narcissist, Jerry. I better leave that thing. A narcissist. Now, another narcissist situation. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back. We offer evidence-based relationship and marriage resources and coaching to help you navigate the difficult times.
Don't just wing it. Learn the principles that work.
Download our 2 free books and book your complimentary coaching session now at manofprestige.com.